We got some Lindisfarne luxury shortbread, no palm oil, and we got some dark chocolate, no palm oil, and then we got a cute half bottle of mead, which I think was about £8.70. That's for our consumption. We'll probably let you know later what this tastes like. We might have some later, or we might wait for a few days. It depends how stressful things are during the day as to whether we need knocking out or not. And I'm still wearing sunglasses.
Looking like a celebrity.
The eyes of the windows are side.
Yes.
Sometimes it's good not to always show your eyes. Grand day rising, everybody, and welcome back to our channel. Today Dan and I are in Lindisfarne, also known as Holy Isle, in Northumberland, which was made famous in one episode of the detective series Vera. This is quite a historical place. You can only cross at certain times of the day because of the tides. It's very low lying. There's a priory and a castle and some other notable buildings associated with the early days of Christianity. So let's go and take a quick look around. We've got a few hours parking on the meter, so we'll see how much we do or feel like doing. So come and join us. This is Holy Island Hall. The generous gift of E. Stein Esquire on the 14th of August 1931. The Crossing Hall, which is really the village hall. Quite a nice building. Plenty of light. They do exercise classes. We've got a summer solstice exhibition. They do yoga and various other events, well-being, parish meetings. So it looks to be the social hub. This is St Aidan's Winery, the home of Lindisfarne mead, which is open every day. I think we're going to have to take a look at this place. There's more actual facilities than what I thought there might be. I had assumed it would be quite remote, but there seem to be all manner of parties and businesses here, which is very encouraging. Of course, it could be more of a seasonal thing, but nonetheless, it's quite lively, really, in terms of businesses and enterprises, and the volume of people as well. So even today, in this AI, postmodernist landscape, people are drawn to history, culture and religion. So Christianity and the other old religions are very much still alive and kicking. They've got all sorts in there and quite a few Scottish products, but we're probably only about an hour at most from Scotland. North Berwick, Edinburgh. There's quite a few things under Loch Ness brand. Interesting, because that's a little bit further, to say the least. But we got some Lindisfarne luxury shortbread, no palm oil, and we got some dark chocolate, no palm oil, and then we got a cute half bottle of mead, which I think was about £8.70. That's for our consumption. We'll probably let you know later what this tastes like. We might have some later, or we might wait for a few days. It depends how stressful things are during the day as to whether we need knocking out or not. This is a naval mine of the type used in the Second World War in defence of our coasts and as an offensive weapon in enemy waters. It's made available to the Shipwrecked Mariner Society by the Admiralty for use as a collecting box. It's placed here by the kind permission of the local authority. We've arrived at Lindisfarne Priory, which is English Heritage. We're English Heritage members, so hopefully there'll be nothing to pay, unlike yesterday when we went to Alnwick. So we're going to go in now and take a look. We're at the Priory and the Church of St Mary, King Oswald of Northumbria, who reigned from 634 to 642 AD, sought to spread the Christian faith in his kingdom. The Anglo-Saxons were really the spreaders of Christianity in Britain. In 635 he granted the island of Lindisfarne to Aidan, a monk who was consecrated bishop of a renowned monastery on the island of Iona, off the coast of Scotland. Lindisfarne became one of the most important religious centres in the Anglo-Saxon world. On the left is a modern sculpture, St Aidan, 1958, created by Kathleen Priory. The Church of St Mary, over yonder, is built on a similar east-west alignment to that of the Priory Church. Both churches may occupy the sites of earlier ones, likely. In Anglo-Saxon times, major religious sites sometimes had two or more churches aligned east to west. Very interesting, isn't it? Cutting stone between the two churches, which is the base of an Anglo-Saxon cross. Holy Island brides step over it on their wedding day, in a custom thought to bring happiness and fertility in marriage. A bit like, I suppose, jumping the broomstick. It's certainly stunning. English Heritage only let 30 people through at the same time. They let us go straight through because we're English Heritage members. This is the patting stone that brides cross over for fertility and happiness. Stunning, isn't it? Imagine getting married in a place like this. You notice these bricked up windows, which are probably not window tax.
No, it's a bit before window tax.
Red sandstone again.
Yeah.
Do you know? The sun's gone in. And they're still wearing sunglasses.
Looking like a celebrity.
The eyes of the windows are soul.
Yes.
Sometimes it's good not to always show your eyes. There's evil people out there. Medieval Priory here stands on the site of a major Anglo-Saxon monastery. One of the greatest masterpieces of Anglo-Saxon art, the Lindisfarne Gospels, was produced here in about AD 700, and St Cuthbert, one of the most important saints in northern England, was buried at Lindisfarne in 687. St Cuthbert has his own island as well. In the late 9th century, the monks removed Cuthbert's relics to safeguard them from Viking raiders, and monastic life declined on Lindisfarne. Several generations later, in 995, the community settled in Durham. Durham Cathedral Priory was built from 1093 to 1140 again as a setting for a shrine containing Cuthbert's relics, which will include remains, not just artefacts. At the same time, the Durham community established a cell or outpost at Lindisfarne and built this church. Monastic worship continued here for 400 years until the priory was closed in 1537 during Henry VIII's suppression of the monasteries. Well. Lindisfarne Priory and Durham Cathedral were remarkable architectural achievements in the late 11th and early 12th centuries. By that time, the practice of building in stone had died out in the north of England. Instead, people built in wood, so skills in quarrying, stonemasonry and construction had to be reintroduced. The Priory Church at Lindisfarne was closely modelled on Durham Cathedral and shares many features with it, including the patterned columns. The rainbow arch, so called because of its shape, spans the church crossing and is the only vaulting rib to survive. Wow! Lindisfarne was the only cell of Durham to have had such a magnificent church built, probably because it's connected to St Cuthbert. The well in the nave is probably Anglo-Saxon in origin. Excavations in the 20th century revealed it and left it visible. Over time, important features of the Priory church have disappeared, including the pulpit on a stone screen which separated the nave from the more sacred area to the east. This is the site of St Cuthbert's tomb. He was a revered and charismatic religious leader known for his love of the natural world. His life was marked by the tension between his public roles as bishop and religious advisor to the Northumbrian court and a yearning to live a solitary existence. He spent his last years as a hermit on the island of Lindisfarne, which is sometimes known as St Cuthbert's Isle, just off the Northumberland coast between Seahouses and Bamborough. He died on 20th of March 687. It's interesting that they've got an exact date for him, and was buried under the Anglo-Saxon church on Holy Island in 698. The monks are said to have opened his coffin and found his body had not decayed, which they took as a sign of his sanctity. Here's a stunning view of Lindisfarne Castle. Isn't that amazing? Imagine waking up to that view every day. Incredible. This is the prize lodging. But it was a very fine lodging back in the day. I really am impressed how big the whole Priory would have been. It was very grand, very dominating on the skyline. I'm trying to imagine what it would have been like, furnished with all the drapes and maybe some flags and holy frescoes, tiles maybe. It must have been quite imposing. And this is St Cuthbert of Farm himself. Rather splendid sculpture. It looks very peaceful, very spiritual. His hands are clasped. He's in a seated position, and one imagines that he's either praying or contemplating, looking out over the Priory, making sure that all is well. This is the pantry. Now, this would be my favourite room. Right at home already. And there's a bench where you can sit and just take it all in. Very quiet, it says. When you've had enough of all that hullabaloo, you can come and sit down and contemplate your next recipe. I have too many in my head. They're all chattering for position. Which one will I do next? Today we had Lebanese lentil soup. I made enough for probably 6 meals, and we're only here till Monday. Oh dear.
It was very nice.
There's some old graves here. That one's where this one's in. And this is Saint Aidan. Dad, and the stepmom, and the friend Ben. R.I.P. And this is the view we have from the churchyard. What a view. This little mausoleum has certainly weathered away and pushed up those daisies. Look at them. That was really interesting. We've spent quite a while there. Now we're going to try and find the castle to look at more history and religious tales. Look at this. We've just had a very messy ice cream. Dan got it down his t-shirt, but all is now well. We've cleaned ourselves up. Mr. Whippy rides again. Now we're at Lindisfarne Castle, which was purchased by the National Trust in 2017. And what we are about to see inside takes us back to 1912. So let's have a look. We haven't got a huge amount of time left on our parking meter, about an hour and 30, so it's likely to be a bit of a sprint round. That building right over yonder is Alnwick Castle, where we were yesterday. Also nearby is Bamburgh Castle, where we're hoping to visit today, and the lighthouse. We'll have to see how we do with time. But look at that, what a view! The sea's so blue as well. Look how blue the sea is. It's incredible.
Once the tide changes again, the beach will start. But it was too hot for me this morning.
Frescoes. Have you seen the carpet? Have a look. That's had some feet on it.
Oh, yes.
That's the kind of look I'm looking for. Hallway, but obviously longer, like a hall runner.
Yeah. Looks like some washing up to be done in there.
Yes, definitely. Handy place for a plate rack.
Yeah, the kitchen porter got a bit drunk and smashed the plates.
There's some natural soap there.
Yeah.
And lines across the top. I guess you could use those as washing lines. Nice carving dish. There's a lot of crab around here. There's lots of places offering crab sandwiches or lobster. Oh, that's cute. Look at them. Handmade. Someone's received a letter. Looks like they're about to eat very well though.
Yeah.
Fancy glasses. One's fallen over there. Maybe they've already had some.
Oh, got a bit pissed.
Tureen, some stuff in there. You'd have gone and maybe help yourself if it was informal.
Yeah.
You'd often have breakfasts informal. You'd have all the food laid out on the sideboard or something like this. Kept warm.
Yeah.
And you'd help themselves in the morning.
Oh, gramophone.
His master's voice.
Yeah.
And the clock.
Can't see now out of the windows.
And the fireplace. The fireplace is true.
Yeah.
That sounds like music you'd have in our funeral.
Yeah.
So when I got classes, it was 2019. And I don't know. No, my eyes are not a bit worse now. Well, no, I know. Well, I've never had problems with that. I've always had good eyesight.
Right, let's have a look upstairs. here we are on the battlements. This is the long gallery.
It was, I suppose, where explosives were kept, but it smells of beer. It smells like mould.
Yeah. Probably the roof timbers and that.
This was built in the mid-16th century, 1542 to be precise. It was to house a garrison of soldiers, so it was intended as a fort. And then much later became a holiday hideaway. Interesting. Old timbers. It's got quite a lot of character. It's got a nice energy in this place, hasn't
Yes,
it?
it has.
It's nice and full. Not peaceful. Even if explosives were kept in here at one time. And this is the long gallery. Nice to sit there by the fire.
Yeah.
Photographs and pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Walls. Paintings, perhaps. There's a long gallery. It was completed in 1912. So it took 11 years to be transformed into a gentleman's country retreat.
Yeah. From a fort. I thought it took that long.
Musical instruments.
Yeah. A rather sorry looking cello, its fingerboard and neck has come loose.
Well, obviously, without the gentle sexton keeping company, he would need to occupy himself with something. If music be the food of love, play on. So saith Shakespeare. Ladies' shoes. So maybe the woman over here. Oh, there's a lady there, look.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she had to spend the time doing something like the gentle pursuit of writing and music, while another half was occupied with his telescope.
Old typewriter.
Cracked from side to side. Have you noticed how short the bed is?
Yeah. This bit extends over the feet.
Okay.
There's drawers in there.
Okay. That's practical use of the available space. Somebody's had a little tip up.
Then we can go down, that's the way to the exit, and we can look at this bit.
Enlisting the services of this friend and heavy merchants, you're going to get talented out. You would transform the castle into a coastal retreat.
Where to get your nose done. Not to get married.
Yeah.
Just in the One can imagine the kind of scandal it might have caused on the mainland.
Yes, I imagine.
Well, that's been our trip today to Lindisfarne. We're back in the car park now at our vehicle. There's quite a lot of traffic still. There's people coming, but there's also people going. This is one of the main car parks. There is another, but this is the biggest. We've had a nice time here. We've been here several hours. There's plenty to see and do. You can bring your pooches as well. Dogs are welcome. You might also need plenty of money because there's lots of things to buy, lovely goodies. And some places are cash only, just saying. Anyway, let us know what you think of this visit. Let us have your comments down below. And thanks for watching. Please give this video a like, a share and a subscribe if you'd like to see more of my content. And I or we will see you again very soon for the next one. Until then, bye for now.